Demon Slayer. If you haven't heard those words, then you're probably new to anime or live alone in the mountains. All of the seasons the anime has ever aired took the internet and the anime community by storm. Demon Slayer has that crisp animation, emotional scenes, and some pretty lovable characters. Demon Slayer's plot follows the story of Tanjiro Kamado. Tanjiro's entire family was killed by a demon, and the only survivor, his sister, turned into a demon herself. Throughout the show, Tanjiro fights tooth and nail to get revenge for his family and to find a cure for his sister. This simple description doesn't give the series justice, as it's much more than that. The series has become a modern classic and made its mark on the world of anime. While you wait for that next season, we're here to fill that hole Demon Slayer left behind. Sit back and chillax as we show you a list of anime just like Demon Slayer. Practice your breathing techniques and sharpen those katanas, because this is gonna be one heck of a ride. At number 16, first up, we have One Punch Man. You might be scratching your head and wondering, why does a bald man in a yellow jumpsuit and red boots have anything to do with Demon Slayer? Well, One Punch Man and Demon Slayer have more similarities than you think. First off, two factions face off against each other. One is on humanity's side while the other is run by monsters. Another thing is that just like Demon Slayer, One Punch Man features a ranking system as well as different abilities that characters use. One Punch Man follows Saitama, who became a hero just for fun. That's where the similarities end, because Cape Baldy doesn't have some noble missions like Tanjiro, okay? And if you haven't guessed by now, Saitama can literally one-punch anything in existence. It's just one overpowered guy unintentionally saving the world while finding a worthy opponent, or trying to find a worthy opponent. That's basically the premise of the story for now, because he's bored. He's that overpowered. And at number 15, we have Yasuke. This is one anime you've probably never even heard of. Yasuke is an original anime series by Netflix that follows the story of a true historical figure. Yasuke, an African samurai and a retainer of the famous Oda Nobunaga. It's a beautiful mix of history and action with a dash of fantasy. And I guarantee you that the animation's in tip-top shape because Papa Mappa animated this series. Nothing like a good mappa animation. Similarity-wise, the first thing we notice is of course the swords. Sword otakus are probably drooling right now. Other than the beautiful swordplay, there are also traces of demons, supernatural beings, and magic in the anime. So put your samurai armor and take a peek at the story of the greatest Ronin that was ever known, or never known. And at number 14, next up, just right around Death City, is Soul Eater. It is basically Demon Slayer with the wackiest art style you've ever seen, but I gotta admit it's phenomenal. It's pretty cool. Soul Eater and Demon Slayer share the premise of hunting evil beings, but in Soul Eater's case, it's mainly witches. They also have an organization made for this purpose, and in Soul Eater, it's called Death Weapon Maestra Academy, which sounds like something 15-year-old me would come up with, or something that Bakugo out of My Hero Academia would choose as his hero name. In the academy, they aim to cultivate beings known as Death Sides, who can turn themselves into weapons, and are usually paired up with wielders known as Maesters. There are several main characters in the series. One pair is a literal scythe, and your typical serious student. Another is a ninja weapon with a Meister that has a rapper's name. And the last one is literally a dual-wielding pistol user. If you think that sounds weird and somewhat cool, then that's just what Soul Eater is all about. And at number 13, we have Hunter x Hunter. Just like Demon Slayer, Hunter x Hunter is a classic. Let me just say that again. Class 1A in the anime community. We all know our porcupine boy named Gon and Gojo the kid named Killua. There's also that last Sharingan user Kurapika and the businessman Leorio. The anime follows these main characters as they strive to become hunters, individuals that take on dangerous and life-threatening missions for fame, fortune, and my favorite, glory. Hunters of the Hunters Association can be compared to the Demon Slayers of the Demon Slayer Corp, but instead of fighting demons, hunters do basically everything. The MCs also have a lot in common. They became what they are now because of individual reasons and have codes where they won't kill as much as possible, but won't hesitate to do so if there's no other option. Number 12, I beg you to watch this anime, Dororo. It's not your typical hack and slash Neiman anime, it's just so much more. Hyakimaru and Dororo are two orphans whose backstories are probably one of the most painful ones in anime. Hyakimaru was born without body parts because his father traded them before he was born in a contract with demons, and was left to die until he was found by a monk as a baby. Now he's on a journey to take back what was once his and meets Dororo along the way. Hyakimaru experienced love, grief, and pain on his path, a story of how an empty shell solely focused on killing and an orphan became each other's shoulder to cry on. Dororo has a lot of similarities with Demon Slayer, and it's too much for me to say one by one. First off, there's demons, and a supernatural concept that is the base of the two series. There's also the amazing swordplay, although Dororo doesn't have those fancy effects Demon Slayer has. Dororo's fights are more centered around dynamic realism compared to Demon Slayer's over-the-top choreography. Just watch the anime and you'll know what I mean, just watch it. And at number 11, we have Sirius the Jaeger. Instead of demons, we have vampires. Well, they're basically the same thing. It's just that vampires only go for the blood while demons literally eat humans, like they're in some sort of mukbang. There are also similarities between the organizations and even the main characters' backstories. Yuli, the MC of the series, was the sole survivor of a vampire attack, but instead of just his family, his entire village was wiped out. As vampire attack cases grew by the day, Jaegers like Yuli were sent to fight him. However, there was something more than meets the eye in these trying times. Finding a legendary artifact called the Ark of Sirius was the main goal of the Jaegers all along. It had the power to change the world, and humanity's doom would be inevitable if it came into the wrong hands. At number 10, we have Seraph of the End. Okay, first of all, that's one sick title. Kudos to the author, son. You have good taste, my friend. Seraph of the End is the story of orphans, Yuichiro, Michaela, and their makeshift family of kids. After a virus wiped out every human above the age of 13, vampires crawled out of their holes and used the children as livestock. While trying to escape, a noble vampire massacred Yuichiro's family, and Michaela sacrificed himself to help Yuichiro escape. Now with him reaching the outside world, and as the only survivor, he joined a group called the Moon Demon Company and went on a journey to get revenge on the monsters that took everything away from him. Sirius the Jaeger, Demon Slayer, and Seraph of the End are practically three peas in a pod. They have two organizations fighting each other and an MC with a horrible past. Even the side characters in Demon Slayer and Seraph of the End are similar. I won't just go into more detail because that would spoil all the fun for me and you, of course. I think Seraph of the End said, you can copy my assignment, just paraphrase it to Demon Slayer, and they did a really good job of not getting caught by the teacher. At number 9, we have Fire Force. Enough of those vampires, because right now we're going into some fiery territory with Fire Force. In the world of Fire Force, the entire earth has been consumed by a sea of flames in the past. Now there's only the Empire of Tokyo, which is plagued by a phenomenon called spontaneous human combustion. The victims' bodies ignite into a fiery mess and they become monsters who destroy everything in their path. To fight them, an organization called the Special Fire Force was formed, and the MC, Shinra Kusakabe, gets caught in a conspiracy regarding the truth about this world. Just like Demon Slayer, Fire Force has the same concept, where an organization is created to fight off dangerous monsters, and the MC's main reason for fighting is to get revenge after their family was killed. Shinra and Tanjiro have similarities both in their mysterious abilities and how they value their nakama. Number 8, we have the now famous Jujutsu Kaisen. Of course, I think everyone knows what Jujutsu Kaisen is all about. The Jujutsu sorcerers are basically demon slayers that know how to do magic. We have Sukuna, the king of curses, just like Muzan, the king of demons. We even have a Megumi who's literally like Giyu Tomioka's twin. It's like they came from the same mother but were like separated at birth. Megumi Tomioka, question mark? Other than that, Jujutsu Kaisen is one of the most popular shonen anime nowadays, and it revolves around curses and Jujutsu sorcerers. Yuji Itadori ate Sukuna's finger and he became Naruto. But instead of whiskers, my boy got an eye and a mouth. That's a hell of a deal. Together with Megumi, Nobara, and their sensei Daddy Gojo, they fight curses and try to collect all of Sukuna's fingers. A journey full of sacrifices, friendship, and fights that'll surely give you goosebumps and make you binge the whole series. Number 7, we have Ajin, Demi-Human. So you're saying that you won't watch Ajin because it has 3D animation. Fool. You just wasted a good show. The series focuses on immortal beings called Ajin, and a concept like you've never seen before. Ajin are labeled as threats to humanity and are to be arrested on sight. Kei Nagai was your typical high school student until he was involved in an accident. He didn't get reincarnated in a fantasy world, but instead he didn't get a single scratch, which proved that he was an Ajin himself. Now he starts his journey as an Ajin and tries to find people just like him. Ajin, Demi-Human, is Demon Slayer if Nezuko was the MC. But in terms of similarities, Kei Nagai's and Tanjiro's hardships go hand in hand. where they were suddenly thrown into an ocean of problems suffocating them at every turn. The series also showcases a battle of two classes where the Ajin, deemed as subhuman and criminals, try to fight for their sake against the government. It gives the viewer a perspective not usually seen in anime, where those who are stronger are being hunted down no matter their moral compass. Number 6, we have Berserk. If Demon Slayer's action wasn't enough and you want a bit more realism and gore, then Berserk might be the show. Guts, similar to Tanjiro and Kate, has one of the most tragic, and I mean it, tragic backstories in anime. Berserk also focuses on the monster hunting aspect like Demon Slayer, although it shines the spotlight more on the main character rather than the concept itself. A classic anime revenge story is also one of Berserk's main premises, which go hand in hand with Demon Slayer. If you think the backstories in Demon Slayer made you sad, then get ready to go into therapy, because Berserk will make you rethink what life is all about. Berserk follows Guts, a swordsman born and raised in the battlefield. He was an orphan at birth, became a mercenary, and eventually joined a group of warriors where he saw value in being alive again. But those moments didn't last too long, as all his comrades were killed and the love of his life was broken right in front of him. You'll have to watch it to understand. After he was betrayed by the man he trusted the most, his best friend. At number 5, we have Hellsing. Sir Integra Fairbrook Wingate's Hellsing, I dare you to say that 10 times in a row, is the head of the organization known as Hellsing, whose main purpose is to fight back against supernatural entities that are threatening humanity's very survival. The strongest member, the vampire known as Alucard, makes Seras Victoria an officer that was mortally wounded during a fight into a vampire. Together they purge the world of these creatures one monster at a time. Judging by Hellsing's plot, it's safe to say that it is really similar to Demon Slayer. Hellsing is just edgier and doesn't shy away from showing brutal fight scenes. There's no doubt that even Sera's experience is similar to Nezuko, although she just doesn't have to chew on bamboo all the time. At number 4, we have Claymore. Demons? Check. People who fight demons? Check. An organization specifically made just to fight demons? Check. A main character who wants to get revenge on a specific demon? No doubt about it. Claymore is similar to Demon Slayer, without a doubt, and that's why it's number 4 on this list. Claymore is a dark fantasy anime that focuses on a Claymore named Claire. Claymores are a hybrid of Yumas and humans. While Yuma are monsters that hunt humans, Claire comes across Rocky after Rocky's entire family was killed by a Yuma attack. And now both of them go on a journey to find the Yuma that was responsible for Claire's pain and the reason why she became a Claymore. The series is Demon Slayer with a loot of girl power, which is my favorite. I love girls. Number 3, we have God Eater. If you thought the demons in Demon Slayer were bad, then you haven't seen the Aragami in God Eater. Aragami are behemoth-like monsters that almost killed every single member of humanity. To fight back, humans developed weapons known as God Arc, and their wielders were called God Eaters. Lenka Utsugi became one of them and is one of the few people that stands between humanity and complete annihilation. Of course, you can already see the similarities between God Eater and Demon Slayer. First off, the titles are pretty cool. And secondly, they have the same premise where humans fight monsters using special weapons and techniques. If that isn't similar to Demon Slayer, I don't know what is. Number 2, we have Castlevania. Just like Yasuke, Castlevania is an anime original by Netflix. Netflix doesn't do so well in terms of live action adaptations, but boy oh boy, do they hit the spot when it comes to making their own anime. Castlevania is based on a game and follows the story of the trio Alucard, Trevor Belmont, and Sypha Belnades. They form a motley crew to take down Dracula and put a stop to the terror he's bringing to the world. As a swarm of otherworldly monsters covers up the night, it's up to these three to bring back the light. In terms of similarity with Demon Slayer, there are monsters, the magic, the sword fights, and even the stupidly strong final boss. It's in the number 2 list because even the plot is quite similar with the trio of the main characters, slowly but surely fighting their way towards the final battle, except that Inosuke here is actually a girl and the other two are badass chads. As for the villains, they even have a hierarchy system like the 12 Kizuki in Demon Slayer. And last, number 1 but not least, we have Tokyo Ghoul. The king of anime like Demon Slayer. The main characters may not be the same, but everything else sure is. We have groups that fight against each other for survival, and the ghouls are not just some mindless freaks. They actually have a working structure just like the ones in Demon Slayer. Other than that, the main characters' build-ups are also the same, especially where they have rare abilities surpassing that of the others in the series. If you didn't know, Tokyo Ghoul follows Kaneki Ken. While on a date, he turned into a half ghoul after the lady he was going out with attacked the poor kid. He was then crowned the nickname the One-Eyed Ghoul. Kaneki became something to fear for both ghouls and humans alike. Throughout the series, he suffered devastating losses but gained something to live for as well. Tokyo Ghoul is by means not your average shonen. It is by far the best show to watch while waiting for your new season of Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is without a doubt a legend in its own right, and that's why every time it ends, there's like this void left inside all of us. There you have it, my weeps, the 16 best anime like Demon Slayer, from the bald superhero to the badass Kaneki. This has been one amazing list, if I say so myself. This is Quote the Anime, and it's your boy Ernie Senpai. Comment below. Oh yeah, guys, if you like videos like this, make sure to subscribe and let me know so we can make more anime like a specific anime that you love. Put it in the comments, the one that gets upvoted the most, we're gonna make that. Let's go, babe.